Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the KeepFit podcast. My name is Axel. First, I want to start this video by thanking everybody who commented on our last video. It was a magnificent, really cool conversation, and I keep learning a lot from you guys. Okay, so this is very productive, and I like what we're doing. I like these debates, and let's just keep going. Let's keep the conversation going. I want to address the video, the podcast that I showed on our last video. Okay, I want to address that. I didn't know anything about them, but now I do. And you know that this channel is all about truth and you know, being real and having a good time with honest people. But we're good people right here in this community. Okay, from the comments, yes, you're absolutely right. When you have a podcast that it's dedicated for the sole purpose of bashing and pointing out the bad thing from another country, it's very unprofessional, it's inauthentic, and quite frankly, it doesn't add any value at all to anything or anyone. Now, we established for the fourth time in 5 videos that the Unitree Kung Fu robots were pre-programmed. They record with motion capture, real martial artists, real human, and that data was transferred into the robots. They train the robots and then they perform the Kung Fu demonstration. Okay, so whether or not there were remote controls, maybe 1 or 2, we don't know. The other channel didn't present that evidence either. But yeah, we got something. I got something for you guys. They said there was remote control, and then they later said it was pre-programmed. So, you know, make up your mind.
Like somebody comes up there and say, wave at the robot, and then someone waves and it waves back.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there's just a dude with a remote control behind his back pressing the Y and select, you know, move back, and then they keep reprogramming it until it does it right. Yeah.
Move back, and then they keep reprogramming until it does it right.
I said in the last video that I will feel scammed or deceived if the demonstration was an AI video generated, or it was CGI, or it was a fake completely, you know, in some way or the other. But it was a live event with pre-programmed robots that did 100% accuracy in martial arts demonstration with kids. Okay, so that will be very difficult to top. Now, I want to give a massive thank you. This comment from one of my viewers. He said, Unitree G1 humanoid robots explain. Now, I hit the link and it took me to a channel called the RoboStore. Now, who better? Because I don't know anything about robots. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about robots, but I'm going to let the experts tell the difference between the models, because there are actually a few different models from the Unitree G1 robots. Okay, so let's take a look at their videos.
Hey guys, I'm Ted from RoboStore, and today we're going over the Unitree G1 platform. This is the most popular humanoid platform on the market right now. You've probably seen these all over the internet. You've seen them do some crazy things.
Yeah.
And we have everything from the basic all the way up to the EDU Plus, different hand options. And we're going to go over the differences between those options and what's capable of the Unitree G1 platform and what's to come. The Unitree G1 platform stands about 4 feet 2 inches tall and is about 75 pounds. The Unitree G1 is completely modular. The hands, the wrists, the joints, everything can be changed, which makes it for easy retrofitting, makes it for easy repair, and the whole product itself can be really adjustable. You have a basic version and then an education version, also known as the EDU. These mean that there's a secondary computer on board the G1, which is an NVIDIA Orin. The Orin has 100 TOPS computing power and is basically the architecture behind the...
You look at that? They're programming the robot to do amazing, crazy things.
So we're going to move over to the basic to understand what the basic is for, who it's for, and what it encompasses. Wrists that only move half motion, and we have a product that's really an out-of-the-box RC humanoid. When I mean RC, it's radio controlled, it's utilizing a controller and also utilizing an
radio control, but that's the basic version. See, they didn't mention that in their video. They didn't know there were different types of robots. So we have the basic version, which is what he just explained, radio control. I'm not going to repeat too much because I'm not the expert. So that's why I'm presenting you this video, because who better than an expert to explain the difference between the robots? All right. Let's keep going.
An application built on Unitree's platform. The G1 Basic is not something that can be programmed. You can't take extra code, throw it on top to have automation just yet. But a lot of the rollouts on the over-the-air updates with the Unitree platform are increasingly moving towards automation, where we see repetitive motions that can be mimicked with the G1 Basic. We see stuff such as built-in AI capabilities of speaking functions and actually having the G1 Basic respond to your own request.
Coid, let's start simple. What exactly are you?
I am a localized robotic agent built on the Unitree G1 platform. All of my knowledge lies directly on my onboard computer.
So as I move over to the education platform, this is the humanoid that can do. This humanoid is built on the backs of NVIDIA's computing, and that secondary development is so important because this is where you can code the robot to essentially do whatever you'd like.
So the edu version, you can code the robot to do whatever you want, what he just said. So look at that. So by knowing all this, the Kung Fu demonstration they did, it gets more awesome. And because look at that difficulty of doing all that to the robots. Now on top of that, you have to teach them martial arts, to do a presentation for the whole world to see. Much respect.
So as we look at the difference between the EDU standard and EDU plus, we're really just looking at degrees of freedom. On our G1 Basic here, think of an EDU standard as a G1 Basic with secondary computing power. And think of an EDU plus as a EDU standard with that computing power with upgraded DOF or degrees of freedom. This is not something yet that we have a UX UI for, that you're just going to tell the robot to go get your clothes or go get your food or do whatever you want. This is something that has to be worked on. This is where we are right now with humanoid.
That's very interesting. That is very interesting. I remember they mentioned something that those robots all they do is jump around. They don't do labor. Of course they're gonna mention labor and putting this robot to works, because performing martial arts can be boring, right? It's not amazing at all. It's not that amazing. Just because the robot cannot go and wash your car and clean your clothes and clean your house. Nah, that robot is useless. You are useless. There, I said it.
The 3-finger hand may seem a little odd, but actually the 5-finger hand in robotics is a little bit strange because we have a thumb, and on the human thumb, you're raising your thumb back and forth to basically grip. On the 3-finger hand, you're using a thumb in the middle to use not only as a grip, but it also has a rotating piece about this that allows it to twist objects. And it's actually more than enough for most of our autonomy or any teleoperation services that you're doing on your G1.
Okay, so robots are better with 3 fingers. 5 fingers looks too complex, but they don't need that many fingers because their grip with 3 fingers, it's good enough.
So we have our Intel depth sensor. This is the 435 depth sensor. It's standard in a lot of robotics. You'll see it also on the go-to EDUs. And this is providing not only spatial recognition, but this is also a camera system on the front of the robot. And you'll see it's looking downwards. So it's actually analyzing what's in front of the robot. This is found both on the EDU and the basic. There's no difference in the sensors on both units. Then we have a LiveX 360 Lidar. This is mainly for spatial recognition. And we see this now as a standard on most robotics of having a Lidar system over a vision system. Now, if I use this in an example, a Tesla is working on a vision system to do autonomous driving. The Lidar system is a little bit quicker. It picks up points and can basically figure out depth perception much faster in a vision system. So this is kind of the next generation of where we're seeing a lot of autonomous movement built around is a Lidar system.
I will repeat that part because he mentioned a couple things very interesting. And that's how the robots see. That's how they'll be able to perform the Kung Fu move alongside the kids, because those robots are smart. The robots know where the objects are. Very difficult for someone backstage control it with a remote control, because it's not looking, even with the visor or something. But next generation where we're seeing autonomous movement. So yeah, we are getting there. The robots eventually will get autonomous. We're not there yet, but This is impressive. This is very impressive.
So when you see these two units, you see the price difference, understand one's really for programmability and secondary development, and the other one is meant to be used on more of the consumer side, where you're working with an application and a UX UI that's friendly to everyone to move around this robot.
So there you have it. There you have it. I'm gonna leave the video on the description below so you can check it out completely, and you can then subscribe to Robotstore. Very important, subscribe to Robotstore and watch their videos because they're very educational. So there you have it. There you have it. Unitree robots have become more and more amazing to my eyes, because look at that. Not only we have two different types of robot, we got a normal version that you can play around with it, and you have the educational version that you can do whatever you want with it. You can reprogram it, and you know, the sky's the limit. So I believe that's the version they use at the Kung Fu demonstration. So guys, I really hope this video has cleared has cleared the thought, has cleared the path, has enlightened us into believe that these robots are truly amazing. I don't feel scammed, I don't feel deceived or anything. You know, after watching the RoboStore video, I gotta say that I feel more confident that people are actually know what they're doing. So let me know what you think. Comment down below. What did you think of the Unitree robots? Is this video helpful? If it did, I thank you very much. So like, subscribe. That being said, now there you have it. Now go and have fun. I'm gonna buy me one of those robots. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.